Chris Travis here with Phandroid.com. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Galaxy Note 8. AT&T was kind enough to send us a review unit, finally. And yeah, I just kind of wanted to go over some of the rough hardware specs and maybe give you my first impressions. I have been playing around with it a little bit today, so I do feel like I am well acquainted with it. That's the bad boy right there. It's absolutely ginormous. In the box you get some of the startup stuff, documentation, as well as inside of here as well. SIM removal tool there on the back. And then if we look inside the box, you get your adaptive fast charger, the USB Type A to Type C to plug in a full USB port, and then a micro USB to Type C. Pretty much with what we saw with the Galaxy S8. Then you get your USB cable inside the box. These little different stylus tips if you want to, I guess, change the color or the feel of them, which is interesting. And then the AKG headphones as well. And that's pretty much it. So the phone itself, you're going to be looking at, we kind of covered this in our hands-on a little while back, but it's got a 6.3 inch absolutely beautiful AMOLED display. It is pretty darn large. Just a smidge larger than the Galaxy S8 Plus, but it has a more of a boxy, squarish feel to it, which somehow makes the phone just feel a little bit bigger. It is very, very, very tall. Inside you have a Snapdragon 835 processor. For the US model, the international model does come with Exynos 8895. 64 gigabytes of internal storage, 6 gigabytes of RAM, which in my use has made all of the difference. I've actually been loving this. On the Galaxy S8 and S8 Plus, I was constantly getting app reloads. Whenever I would return to an app after a little while, it would have to reload the entire app again, and it kind of just made the phone feel a little bit more sluggish than it would otherwise. With 6 gigabytes of RAM, you have more apps that stay open in the background so that when you return to them, it's absolutely instant and it's amazing. 3,300 milliamp hour battery, which probably isn't the biggest, especially for a phone this size. In my use, I mean, I'm already seeing the battery drop pretty quickly, but that might have something to do with the always-on display as well. You do get an iris scanner in the front, which is great. It's got IP68 water resistance, and then you also get this amazing little S Pen here. Headphone jack, which you won't find on the iPhone X. So, you know, this kind of is, as it stands right now, Android's iPhone X killer. On the back, you have a 12 megapixel camera. It has also a, both of them have an OIS, which is really, really amazing. One of them is a 2x optical zoom. And then, of course, when you combine the two together, you can do sort of an iPhone-like portrait mode for kind of a more shallow depth of field when taking portrait photos of people. Kind of cool. The fingerprint scanner here on the back as well. I do like that it's a little more pronounced or recessed, and then there's this little raised area here, so it makes it a little bit easier to find. But when you hold the phone, I mean, you can see I can't even reach it. If I just hold the phone and pick it up normally, like I'm messing around and using it, yeah, you'd have to do a little hand shimmying to reach that fingerprint sensor, which I was hoping would be improved from the Galaxy S8, but for whatever reason, it is still painfully slow and slightly inaccurate and just one of the worst Android fingerprint scanners out there. But luckily, facial recognition works really well. I have it right now. Let's see if I can just do it really quickly. Boom! Just like that. Super duper quick, which I love. And maybe even arguably faster than the iPhone X with not as many fails, so that's pretty cool. Overall, the phone is, again, really, really fast and snappy. Probably not as fast as maybe, say, something like the OnePlus 5, which is sort of the new king of performance when it comes to Android devices. But again, that 6 gigabytes of RAM helps out a lot. And the Note, of course, has a few tricks up its sleeve. You do get the S Pen, and unsheathing it will pull up all these different shortcuts. They do have a new feature called Live Message, which is kind of fun, which allows you to say, draw something. I love you. And then once you're done, it'll basically animate it, and then you can send it off as a GIF to, you know, the missus or the GF or what have you. And the S Pen is just pretty darn amazing. Again, it comes with different little tips. They've improved it slightly by making the tip a little bit more precise so that you can draw a lot easier and such. So you have live messages, there's translate, and there also is Bixby Vision for doing like translation and web pages. So they have kind of supercharged the S Pen a bit, which is nice for those that like that sort of thing. The S Pen I really don't use very often. I kind of try to look for reasons to, but unfortunately it's just really not my thing. And you know, they made it so that you can't plug it in backwards either, which is also nice. So that is just going to be the Galaxy Note 8. Just make sure to stay tuned to Phandroid.com for more coverage. I'm going to be going in depth with the phone and covering some of the better features and you know, leading up to the full review. So with that, I am Chris Chavez. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.